Hey everyone, it's Lisa from the blog farmhouseonboone.com, and today I'm going to show you how I made the tie top linen cafe curtains in our kitchen. If you saw my summer home tour, you might have seen that I added some little cafe curtains in our kitchen. I did this because I felt like the window is too big and wide open, and this really stems from that I picked the wrong window to go in, and I really should have gotten 3 wood windows. Talked about that more in my kitchen regrets video, but thankfully that's the only one I really have. The linen curtains that I added really did help to break it up, and I love the soft touch. I like that now I can swap them out and have maybe something festive for Christmas or different seasons. For summer, I chose a buffalo check pinkish tannish linen that I found at Joann's Fabric. I will try to find a link to something similar. I just happened to pick this one up on a whim when I was in town, and so I don't have an exact link, but I will try to find it for you and leave it down in the description box below. So to make tie top curtains, they're some of my favorite curtains to make. I actually have some in my living room and upstairs in my son's room. The first thing you want to do is find the length for your curtain panel. To do this, take the length that you want, in my case 28, add to that 3, that is for 1.5 inch hem at the bottom, plus 1, that's for a 1/2 inch hem at the top, and then subtract 4 because the ties add 4 inches to the finished dimensions. I also wanted my finished cafe curtains to be about 28 inches wide. Now this will totally depend on what you're trying to cover. For regular full-size windows where I want a curtain that goes above the window down to the floor, I usually just work with the linen width. So for example, the ones I made in my book, I have some tie top linen curtain tutorial in my Simple Farmhouse Life book on page 61. In that particular one, I did 58-inch wide panels. These are smaller, so I didn't want them quite so wide. They're more just decorative. I do like how they filter the light a little bit, but they're mostly just decorative. So you can work with your linen. So if the linen is like 44 inches wide, you can make your curtain panels that width. If in the case of the linen I had that I used for my book, if it's 58, you can have wider panels. A lot of times I just determine the width by how much I have to work with. So for these though, these little cafe curtains, I wanted them to be about 28 by 28 finished length and width. So for the width, I cut them 30 inches wide, and that gave me 1 inch to work with on each side for the hems. I also cut out 10 pieces for the ties. I did 10 pieces, each 36 inches long and 1.5 inches wide. To make them all finished, I folded the ends over, sewed all the way down the long side, making sure to back and forward stitch. Then I turned them right side out with a large safety pin. After turning them right side out, I just top stitch, which is just a stitch really close to the finished edges, all the way around to close the top pieces that were folded under and to make a nice pretty edge on the seam side of the ties. Next, I took my curtain panels and hemmed 3 sides. For the sides, I just folded it over a 1/2 inch and then another 1/2 inch and sewed down. Along the bottom, I folded it up, I made it a little bit bigger, 1.5 inch and then another 1.5 inch and went along the bottom. And then I went up the other side with a 1/2 inch hem. Now at this point I had finished tie pieces and a curtain panel that was finished on 3 sides. Next I added the ties by folding the top edge over a 1/2 inch and then another 1/2 inch, so creating a hem, folding the tie pieces in half and then putting them inside that hem. I made sure to space them out evenly. Now since I had 5 total ties per panel, I put 2 tie pieces on the outside edges that were lined up flush with the edges of the panel, and then I folded it in half to find the center, put 1 there, and then I found the middle between the outside ones and the middle so that there was 5 total evenly spaced. I sewed the hem all the way down along the top part, catching all 5 pairs of ties. And then I took the ties and I flipped them up so that they'd be facing away from the panel and not down, and sewed along the top so that they would be nice and finished and facing away. I did the exact same thing for the other curtain panel. Super simple, easy project. It probably only took me about an hour to complete them. Of course, several kid interruptions, but if you added it all together, about an hour. And now I have these delicate little cafe curtains for my kitchen. If you want another tutorial on making these style of curtains but in full length, I do have them in my book, Simple Farmhouse Life, on page 61. In my book, I made them with white linen. I made them full length, and I have that tutorial there. All right, well, I hope that you enjoyed this simple tutorial. You can make cafe curtains for your bathroom, for your kitchen. They're a great option whenever you want a little bit of privacy, a little bit of light filtering, but you also want quite a bit of light coming in as well. Perfect for a project like that. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you are brand new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I make 2 new videos every week on food from scratch, natural living, and a handmade home. Thank you so much for stopping by the farmhouse.